Now, I've already done a review of this car from the launch that was held in the fall, and during that trip I had a chance to drive the new turbocharged version of the Honda Civic. It's sold in the EXT, T stands for turbo, and the top touring model. But I really wanted to get this car back. This is the base 4-cylinder, the 2-liter engine, and this is the one most people are going to buy. To spend a week with the car, learn the idiosyncrasies of it, and come to appreciate why this has won the North American Car of the Year and the Canadian Car of the Year. And that happened since I had a first chance to drive the Civic. So this car is selling incredibly well in the first few months it's been in the marketplace, and there's a whole lot of reasons why. I said in that initial review, it's the new benchmark, the new class leader, and these cars have been huge sellers in Canada, the #1 selling car in Canada 18 years in a row. So for 2016, we're going to have a look around. So let's recap what's changed on the outside. This new Civic is a much bigger car. The wheelbase is 3 centimeters longer. The roof sits down about 2 centimeters lower. The car is 5 centimeters wider, and overall the length is 7.5 centimeters longer. So it's got a sleeker hood, roof, and rear deck. Now, at the end of the month, I'm going to get a chance to drive the new Civic Coupe that's coming out. And coming up in April at the New York Auto Show, they're going to unveil the hatchback version of this car. And there's also going to be SI versions, all coming sometime later this year. So that's what we have on the outside. A bigger car, a sleeker car. Inside really is filled with all kinds of great stuff. It's a whole new interior for the Honda Civic. You might remember the split instrument cluster with the speedos sitting above some of the other instruments. Now back to a more conventional dash, thinner dash, wider dash, covered in high quality materials, soft touch materials on the dash and the doors. They've done a really nice job with that. And I do prefer the one instrument cluster. And you also notice nice touches like soft padded materials on the center console. An armrest here that slides back and forth to give you access to the center console and also make room for a second cup holder. Now, all but the base model get heated seats in Canada. So that's that $16,000 base model doesn't get it, but everybody else does. And that's where everybody in Canada should be shopping. Also, when you get one up from the base, you get the 7-inch screen that has the lane watch. When you put the signal on, the camera on the right side of the car is illuminated on the screen and you can see, and it's great for being on the highway to change lanes. Unfortunately, it doesn't work for the left side. I don't know why they do that. In addition, the screen is bright. It's easy to read, even in bright daylight. Back to it again, I said it in my previous review, there is no volume button. And some people are criticizing me saying, you know, what do you need that for? It's on the steering wheel. I like a knob there to turn up and down and to be able to push when you want to mute the radio. As mentioned, all but the base model get the 7-inch screen, which includes Apple CarPlay and Android Auto for seamless smartphone integration. Now, having this car for a week, the one thing I can easily say is Honda spends time with the ergonomics, the seating position, the steering wheel, the dash, the view out the front window. This feels like a driver-oriented car. The seats are comfortable, and when you get your seat set up and the steering wheel in the right position, it feels like an extension of your body. So that is first rate. Now, there's one feature that is only available on the top model. I have a wireless charging phone. On the Touring, you can place it in front of the shifter there and it will charge wirelessly. However, that's kept for the top Touring model. I wish they had it as an option or a standalone option on other vehicles. So the dash is first rate, nice materials, well put together, new look, and I like it. Let's check out the back seat. Now you get a longer wheelbase with this car, and that means more space in the back seat. Now I'm 6 feet tall, I have no problem with headroom. There's no cup holders back here unless you fold down the center armrest. There's 2 cup holders in there, and the seats are raked at an angle, which means you're leaning back. You also have theater seating here, which means the rear seats sit up higher than the front seats, so people in the back have a great view out the front. So that I appreciate. So really nicely thought out cabin. There's one area though that needs pointing out, and that is there's a hump now here in the center where the previous Civic used to have a perfectly flat floor for letting kids fly in and out, dropping them off at soccer and hockey practice, that sort of thing. So that now has a hump. Now you got to remember, this is going to be used for other products. CR-V, of course, is based on the Civic platform. Could the Civic be coming with all-wheel drive down the road? We'll have to wait and see. The Honda Civic is now available with a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine on the top 2 trim levels, and it pumps out 174 horsepower. Now, even though the Civic is available with that new powerful and efficient turbocharged engine, most people are still going to opt for this car with the standard 2-liter non-turbocharged engine. and it has good power, 158 horsepower, which is way more than any base Civic has ever had before. And this engine is derived from the higher performance 2-liter engine that was sold in Europe. I asked the engineers, where did this engine come from? They said it used to be in a European car for the higher performance cars and is being modified here for our market. So that's a good power plant, and Honda does great 4-cylinder engines. Now you can get a manual. I don't have a manual here, but I do have the continuously variable transmission, and it's a very good unit. I'm driving along, and most of the time it does a good job. The more I drive this car, the more I appreciate what Honda has done with the continuously variable transmission. But there are times when you drive this car where the transmission does feel lazy. So all you do, you put it into sport, 1 notch down, and you have much more direct, like the spinning of the engine and the way the transmission feels very direct. So that's good. You can get around the CVT-ness by just putting it into sport. But obviously you're going to use more fuel. When you're done, you just put it back to drive and cruise along. So this car can get very good fuel economy, and I'm averaging in real world conditions 8 liters per 100 kilometers. And the official rating is 7.8 liters per 100 kilometers in the city and 5.8 on the highway with a CVT. So those are very good fuel economy numbers. Now both the LX and this EX can be equipped with what's called Honda Sensing. It's a whole suite of advanced safety technology. It has forward collision warning with automatic braking. It has lane keep assist. It'll actually steer you in the lane. It has lane departure technology and a whole bunch of other safety features that you can get in this car. That's one of the reasons why it has won all of these awards, is that's advanced safety stuff you would find pretty much in premium cars just a year or two ago, now is in a car that costs right around $20,000. That's amazing stuff. So how do I describe the drive of this car? First of all, it's much quieter than any Civic we've ever had before. And the Civic has always been more on the driver's side. There have been good commuter cars, and then there's driver's cars. This one definitely fits into that category, along with cars like, say, the Mazda 3 or the Golf or the Jetta. So it's got much more dynamic feel to it. Has always had independent rear suspension, and that carries over. It's got a modified front suspension now. In the top model, you get hydraulic bushings. You don't get that with this standard engine, but still, I would classify it as more of a driver's handling car. But now, because the wheelbase is longer, it definitely has a more upscale, polished feel. Now, because you can get this car with a full suite of leather, all the amenities you could ever think of, all of those safety features, and in a bigger package, it kind of begs the question, why would anybody buy an Accord unless you're going to get the V6? This is everything you could ever want in a car. Great job, and there's no wonder that it's selling already like hotcakes. Now, even though this Honda Civic is bigger, it's got more space on the inside, it's got a more powerful engine, the base price stays the same, right around $16,000. But you add on the features, you pay more money, but I believe it's worth it. The LX with Honda Sensing is around $21,000. The car you see here is the EX with the Honda Sensing. That's around $23,500. The first turbo starts at $25,000, and the top Touring's around $27,000. Now, if you think about it, this car, the full load, the bigger package on the inside, leather, everything in it, is competing with base model Honda Accords, and that's why I think this car is going to sell much, much better. So I can't wait to drive the coupe. Stay tuned for that review. Can't wait to drive the hatchback. Stay tuned for that as well. But right now, this is the benchmark in the class, winner of North American and Canadian Car of the Year, and for good reason. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe. To watch the review of the Honda Civic Turbo, click the picture on the left.